The Up and Adam Show is sponsored by the Topflix app. Discover your next favorite movie and TV series and where to stream it. Explore trending titles, popular trailers, entertainment news, and much more, all in one free app. Download it on the App Store today for free. Thank you and enjoy the video.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks for joining me today on the Up and Adam Show. I'm Adam Lupus. Today joining me is a great guy. You might know him as C from A Bronx Tale and Matthew Bevilacqua in Sopranos and many other films. And you might see him on Instagram posting motivational pictures and quotes and great videos. Please welcome Lillo Brancato. Lillo, how's it going, man?
Good. Thank you, brother. How you doing? You okay?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks so much for being a part of this today. It's exciting.
Yeah, thank you for having me back on. I appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, second time we've been chatting now, so it's good.
We met through another friend, Phil, a few years back. And I mean, I was already doing this kind of stuff. And they sort of, they kind of took notice of what I was doing. And initially, Steve was with another company. But then he went on his own and, and I just went, when he went to More Life, gave me a job. And, we've been working together ever since. I've been working with Steve. I've known Steve for about 2 years now. And I, consider him a personal friend. And, he's given me some really great opportunities. People don't realize, this is a really, just to be able to share your strength, your experience, with others, and to be able to stay plugged in this capacity is so important because it keeps me where I need to be.
Absolutely.
So it's not more just, it keeps me where I need to be. And Stevie, Steve Barone, Joe Coyle, Casey Gallagher, Kenny Sass, these are my guys over there. And, we work really well together and we're really serious and we're all, in recovery of some sort. And, we can relate to every one of the clients and every one of the people there. And it's really, we're boots on the ground. And I'm really happy that, I've really, Stevie, he's shown that he's believed in me for, a long time. It means a lot to me. So thank you to him. And they said, you're disappointing us very much. And it's going to come to the point where you're not going to have us anymore. We're not going to be here for you anymore. And these are people that have been there for me my whole life. And, I kind of thought wow, where would I be in all of this madness and this mess that I've created for myself? No one else. I did it.
Yeah. Where
would I be? And how much worse would this be if I didn't have these people?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, man, it sometimes when you're in a bad position, I could be wrong, but this is what I feel about it. It's that even if you're in a bad position, like how you were, right? If you have people that support you, even if you don't want to get better sometimes, if you have that support, you're just naturally going to just get better because you're surrounded by positive vibes. Right. And sometimes people, cause that cameo thing I sent you, that was for my mom. Right. She suffered from a stroke and she's in a state right now.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Yeah. And she's in a phase right now where she's really depressed. Right. And for her right now, she doesn't, she's going oh, I'm not going to get better. Those thoughts go in your head. You're in a hospital. It's depressing. With COVID, we can't even see her that much. So, but our, us and the family, we're very supportive with her. Right. And I feel like her having that positive intent and that the vibes like that, it's naturally pushing her to get better, forcing her to get better, even if she doesn't.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I actually just posted a video about assuming positive intent yesterday.
I saw that. Yeah, exactly. That's where I got it from.
It's when you assume negative intent, you didn't even get to the situation or anything like that. You didn't even see what the situation is.
Yeah.
But you thought what the situation could possibly be and turned it into something negative. You're self-defeating. You're defeating yourself already, and you're giving yourself stress when it doesn't need to be there. Mm-hmm. Wait what happens. And then if it is what you thought it was, then you deal with it. But until then, you shouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Especially if there's no way you have any control of it. And when you want to smoke the most is after you've been sleeping all night and your body's craving that nicotine.
Mm-hmm.
You're awake and aware. Your body starts calling for that nicotine. Okay, that's the hardest one.
Yeah.
Okay? And you never think that you're going to get over that, but the way you do it is you don't smoke right away. If you wake up at 7:37 you smoke your first cigarette at 8:37. And then at 8:37, you go to 10:37. And then you increase it by 3 hours. And then the next one, you increase it by 4 hours.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is you're lowering the levels of nicotine in your body by doing this, obviously.
Yeah.
But you don't crave it that much because you're going to use this again, because this is how you're going to stop. The mind will not really drive you crazy that you want a cigarette because you know you're going to have one. You know you're going to have one. You're going to enjoy it so much because you hadn't smoked in so long.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, you do that the next day, the levels of nicotine just become less and less and less and less and less. But you got to stick with it. You can't. And I did that for like 2 weeks. And then I was smoking little pieces of the cigarette. If to stop overnight.
It's impossible. Cold turkey's not good.
It's not good for your body. It's not really realistic, especially after you got people who are smoking for 20, 30, 40 years. How do you undo something that you did for that long by going to sleep and waking up the next day? It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So I think the key for addiction is, sometimes we get in our heads. You can walk into a place, and you haven't been there in so long. And now you see this girl that, whatever, may have broken your heart, or you may have done drugs with, or whatever the connection is. But this girl, for some reason or somehow, is going to stir something up in you, okay? It's going to stir something up in you where you want to do drugs, because that to you is the best alternative to combat what you're feeling, okay? Yeah. But how about this? How about we learn how to deal with these feelings? How we learn how to become mindful. Mindfulness, meaning you're able to take what it is, let it in, and let it out.
Yeah.
Ruminate. Don't let it get stuck here. And then it gets stuck here, and then you're going to do things as a result of what you're feeling that's going to be against your better judgment. So this is how you have to learn how to be able to live in the moment, be able to experience things like this through mindful meditation and just things like that are really helpful in giving yourself the best chance to be able to combat this. It's a spiritual, it's a 3-part problem, but mostly it's a spiritual disorder within. Mm-hmm. It's like a hole in the soul, a spiritual disorder within, which causes us to reach out for the drink, the drug, gambling, going shop, compulsive shopping, whatever it is that gets that dopamine processing in our brains to be able to feel that certain way is what we're drawn to.
Absolutely.
Okay? It doesn't always have to be like that. Okay? There's, you can fix your spirit. It takes time. Just how you destroyed your spirit, and as long as it took for you to get to where you were when you hit rock bottom, listen, like I said with the cigarettes, you can't undo something that you did for so long overnight or in a few days.
It takes time.
Stay and wait for the miracle to happen. That's the only way the miracle is going to happen, is if you stay. You have to put the work.
You have to put the work in,
I'm a big advocate on exercising as part of recovery.
Yeah, I always keep posting about that. Exercising, working out, it's good.
Right, it's very important. You're going to get that daily dose of dopamine where you get it from drugs and things that were destroying.
Yeah, this is actually benefiting you. It's actually lifting you up in a way.
Right, but it's, you know what it is? Listen, I'm 44 years old. I'll be 45 in August. Am I an old man? No, but I'm not a young man. I'm a middle man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got to take care of myself. And I have to say, the way I've treated thank God I was able to get out of what I was doing early enough to have not done any permanent damage. Or I don't know if I have, but for right now, I feel great. I run every day. Physically, I feel great. And being in recovery is like the most beautiful gift that anyone has ever given me. Listen, Bruce Lee said a naked man in 4 walls could get a good workout. You could do
that's good.
Pull-up bar in your doorway. You can do push-ups. You can run in place. You can do sit-ups. There's so many things you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things you can do.
So you gotta be creative.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you can get a garbage bag, because I've done this before. I just did it back in March. You got a garbage bag, and I put water in it. and I filled it up with water, and I was holding it like this, doing shoulders like this, or I'm curling it, or my mother had Clorox bleach. She goes to Costco, and she gets the 3-pack,
Yeah.
So, so she's got, she had brand new bottles of Clorox bleach. Do some triceps. I mean, there's so much you can do. You can do just about anything.
I see it everywhere on Instagram. People doing that. They get like creative with their stuff. Yeah, it's
right. If there's a will,
they're lazy. That's why a lot of people are lazy, and it's not a bad thing. I'm lazy too. I don't work out, but it's something I definitely want to get into now. But it's and I think that's the problem. I think addiction, when, for example, doing good in your life, like working out. For example, working out, a lot of people, they find it difficult, but it's a benefit. For example, going to work, making money, it's a benefit for your mind, interacting with people, right? So I'm finding that addiction is very accessible and it's very easy to do, which is why people do it. But and then there's negative effects, right? And it's like when you want to do good things, it's kind of like it's a lot harder to do. You know what I mean? So I think that's why people don't do it, because they go, like, I don't want to work out. It's a lot more effort. I'm just gonna do, like, their escape is drugs, which is a lot worse. It's like fast food. Why do people get fast food? It's quick, accessible, but what are the downsides? It's unhealthy for you, right? So I think that's kind of like the same concept, right?
Of course it is. You know what I mean? As something for anti-anxiety, and to be able, for them to really be successful in recovery. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I definitely believe in that. And I think now that little by little it's going to start becoming legal. I think that, masses, the greater America will be able to see that there are a lot of positive attributes in marijuana and using, THC and CBD. I mean, there's so many drugs out there, that have a million worse side effects.
Tell me about it.
Prescribed on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That we just do in this country and all over the world and whatever it is. And it's fine. And I understand that's big business. And, I've used prescription drugs before for certain, ailments or whatever, and it's helped me. So I'm not saying anything in that regard, but I'm just saying that I think marijuana is a much safer alternative.
It definitely is.
In recovery.
Yeah. And my parents use CBD. I know my mom liked to use THC oils and stuff like that as well, and those vapes, and it helps them a lot, relax, right? And I definitely agree. It is something that I guess it's all about finding your own solution in whatever way it benefits you. Because some people may like that marijuana, they may not, right? So I guess it's all about finding that middle ground of, okay, what is my coping mechanism, right? And what's really crazy, Lillo, that I've noticed is that I think the biggest problem with addiction, and I feel really bad for people about it, is because people don't accept, like, people are not as accepting. For example, let's say I'm on the street and I hear someone is a drug addict, right? Me personally, I'll be like, oh, like I'll accept them as a human being. I'm glad you're getting the help. I'm glad that you're getting better. Other people, I find it's not normalized, or they don't look at people the right way, and that's a problem, because many people, that even I wouldn't think do drugs, they do, right? And they suffer from addiction, and in many cases, sex, gambling, alcohol, drugs, right? And I think the biggest thing, and maybe you can try, maybe I want to hear your opinion on it too, but I think the biggest thing that they can do that to help them, the initial start, is just accepting that they have a problem. Do you agree with that too?
Right. That's where it also, you have to, yes, and you have to give up to a power, greater than us. But you have to recognize that you have a problem. You have to surrender. If you don't surrender, then, you're never going to take the steps necessary. That's why it's like, it's such a phenomenon. You know what I mean?
It's a double-edged sword, yeah.
It's cunning, baffling, and powerful. Those are the three words used to describe what it is. You're in control, but you're not in control. Listen, like, it's a disease where, like cancer, you have no control of that.
Yeah.
One comes for you and you're like in a stage 4, and that's probably my biggest fear in life, especially like pancreatic cancer. You saw poor Alex Trebek. I love that show. My favorite show. I thought that guy would be on that show forever.
So did I. It came out of nowhere. I didn't even know he was sick.
Yeah, I thought that guy would be on the show, but rest in peace to Alex Trebek.
Rest in peace, yeah.
I learned so much from Jeopardy. I've watched it for so many years.
Yeah.
And, once that comes for you, cancer, and it's in a real late stage, there's nothing you can do. Not with all the money in the world, like Steve Jobs. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
To beat it. it's going to beat you, right?
Absolutely.
Drug addiction is going to put you in the same place. It's going to put you in the same place that cancer does. Or you're going to put you away forever in jail, or you're not going to end up in a good place. It's never happily ever after.
Yeah.
It's something like, the cancer, like people that have that 4th stage cancer almost probably wish they had what you had, just to be able to know that they have some control over it. But then you look at it from the perspective of an addict, and it's like, I can control it, but it's not, you're not saying I don't want to control it. You do want to control it.
Mm-hmm.
But keep telling yourself one more. After this one, I'm going to control it. And you really think like you are, and you just keep telling yourself, after this one, I'm going to control it. But where's the control, since you already said 9 times in a row, after this one, I'm going to control it?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any control. You thought you had control, but you don't, but you do. You don't, but you do, but you don't. But you do have the control. You could just get the pipe and put it down and say, I never want to do this again.
Exactly.
Literally that easy. But do you know how hard that is?
Oh.
To do this and say never again? That's easy. But to be able to live that out, do you know how hard that is? Out of all places, I was in a strip club in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
A few friends, Jason Williams from the New Jersey Nets, who's also in recovery. He has a place in Florida called Rebound. Perfect name. There's a recovery center down there.
Nice.
Very good friend of mine. Love the guy. And we used to be, crazy together. If you look, he's got quite a story as well.
Yeah.
He's got a really great story as well. And he's been through a lot, and he's overcome a lot. And, I tip my hat off to him. But it was with him, and this was like, I don't even remember. This was like, 96, 90. It was like 1996, 97. I'd been doing it a few years. And I remember we were in the back in the VIP area, and I remember just started like almost hallucinating. I got very paranoid. Did you ever see The Devil's Advocate?
No.
Okay, Charlize Theron, when she looks at these people, because like she's convinced that Pacino and all this big law firm in New York City, which took them out of the South to move to the big city, because Keanu Reeves was like this unbelievable, he was like this prodigy, this lawyer coming up. He was great at picking juries, so they offered him a lot of money. And then the wife loved living in the South. She had her little life, and then when she went to New York, all these sharks, and she was convinced this was like one big devil thing. And like there were times in the movie when she would look at people and their faces, it was like a weird thing. And it was not that much. I'm not going to say it was that much, but it was more like they were looking at you like they wanted to get you. And these are people that you know and that you're your friends. And I'm like thinking,
like, why look at me? Yeah.
Like, yeah, did I do something to this person? And in the beginning, when it first happens, you don't know this is your mind playing tricks on you. This is called cocaine psychosis. You can experience the same through alcohol, methamphetamine psychosis. When you do so much and you abuse it for so long, you go into the psychosis stage, to where I used to think my father was hiding in my wall with a camera taping me, watching me all high. Like this is real crazy stuff. And the people out there that are in the know, that know what I'm talking about, they'll know. Believe me, because I've seen like insane things, and I've always assumed like this guy wants to kill me. Look at this, bro. I jumped out of a car doing 60 miles an hour.
You jumped out of a car?
Yeah, because I was experiencing psychosis.
Holy.
And the car were going to kill me, so I just jumped out because I thought really I was going to die. So I jumped out because that's what this drug does to you.
I didn't know that.
And I did it for so many years that I definitely rewired everything in my brain to where it's harder for me to assume positive intent sometimes, because I've had so many horrifying, experiences where I thought like the worst thing was going to happen. I used to get this drug, I'll tell you, this is a funny story though. This is my friend Jimmy. He was Arabic. His name was Jamal, but Jimmy we called him.
Yeah.
This was back in like the late 90s, and he was 10 years older than me. He was a big guy. He had hands like this, big tough guy, but he was, he was addicted to drugs. He smoked crack, and he died now. Died of a
Rest in peace.
but in 2009. But he used to get paranoid just like me. But he was worse because he had been doing it for so much longer. And, he, like, just like me, we would literally be on our knees and, like, on the floor, like, thinking there were cops. One time we thought there were cops outside because we've seen the lights. But what we didn't realize, it was somebody's Christmas lights from outside. So, we're sitting in the house. And it was another friend of ours, too, my friend Joe. We're, like, hiding behind the couches. Like, we're grown men in this dude's house. He's a grown man. He's older than us. He's, like, 10 years older than us.
Yeah.
His parents are in California with his brothers for Christmas. And he's home alone. And we're in his house on the floor, hiding on the couches. And we think it's cops, but it's Christmas lights.
Just like a movie scene over here, eh?
Yeah, they're Christmas lights. And then another time, we were hanging out. We had these two girls with us, and it was me, him, and two other guys.
Yeah.
So these were girls we knew from, like, the neighborhood. So we went out to a club that night, the China Club in New York City. And we came back to one of my friend's house, for after party. We were all sniffing cocaine and drinking. And everyone else, beside from me and Jimmy, when they do it, they act normal. They could play cards and they were drinking, laughing like normal people.
Yeah.
But like Jimmy and I, like, he's on one side of the apartment, like looking in the kitchen cabinets, his jaw swinging. I'm on the other side, like on my knees, looking under the couch, looking to see if there's anybody in the closet. And our friends who are playing cards, they have seen this so many times that they know it's not a big deal. So they don't even pay attention to us.
They just
in the beginning, it was like, yo, what are you doing, man? But now it's just like, all right, we know what he does. He'll be all right when we see him tomorrow after he goes to sleep. So Jimmy and I, we decided to call this other guy. Instead of cocaine, now we upped it. We started smoking crack. We went to meet the guy. We wasn't too far from where we were. We walked. We came back. So now it's like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. We're smoking crack. They're still sniffing coke, but we're, like, really wired from the crack. And like I said, Jimmy gets paranoid just like me. And he's worse because he's been doing it for longer. This is a movie scene.
Mm-hmm.
This could open up the movie. So I got so paranoid. I'm, like, walking around the house, this and that. And then I thought to myself for a second, I'm like, shit, I didn't see Jimmy in a few. Where's he? So I'm looking around and I don't see him. I go to my other friend and he's playing cards and I'm, like, behind him and I'm tapping his shoulder and I can't even talk. I'm like, where's Jimmy? Right? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, what do you think? I live in a castle? This guy, what do you think? I live in a castle? He goes, Lee, it's not a big apartment. He's either in there or he's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh. So I was like, oh, the bathroom, right? So I go to the bathroom. Door's locked. So he's in there. Boom, 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 boom. Jimmy, no answer. Boom, 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 boom. Yo, Jimmy, came and talked. And then I did it again, no answer. So I'm like, you know what? Something happened. So I get down on my knee, and remember I told you, he's just like me. He's worse than me.
He's paranoid. Yeah.
Right. So, and I'm thinking he's dead in there. You understand? I'm thinking he's dead in there. So when I get down on my knee, I'm thinking I'm going to look through the crack of the door and I'm going to see this guy like this.
Oh my
right?
God.
That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
As soon as I get to the crack of the door, I'm going to think, he's looking at me from the other side, paranoid. So I jumped back like that. As soon as I went down, I could feel him breathing, and I looked, and his eye was right there. I was like, oh, my God.
Holy shit.
It wasn't funny. It wasn't funny right then and there.
Of course not.
Like,
I can imagine.
God. I'm surprised my heart didn't explode from already the way it was bang, 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 bang from the crack. And then that happened. Oh, my God. I'm surprised my heart didn't just say, Lillo, I've had enough.
Hey,
you put me through the
from the story,
enough.
my heart's about to explode from the story. Holy shit.
Wayne says, my life, you have taken many of my people, but you haven't taken my life. I'm just wondering why you haven't taken my life.
Yes, it sounds familiar now. Yes.
It's a really good song, and I think that. You know what I mean? Well, not really like wondering why. I don't wonder why anymore. But in the beginning, I did wonder why. Like, why, like, you know, my friends Angelo, Artie, Jimmy, like guys, Richie, you know, guys that like died. You know what I mean? These were guys that I was close to. And you say, wow, like I used to be with these guys doing exactly what they were doing. what's so, like, what's so special about me?
It makes you think all these thoughts go in your head, like, wait, why me?
And God never in a million years let me escape that, for me to come back and do what I was doing before.
Absolutely.
Because I believe if I did that and I did come back, I believe he would have taken my life also. There's no room, there's no need, especially after everything. I don't know if God necessarily works in that way, but I mean, what a waste of a life would I have been if I came back after someone else lost their life and their family has to go through that and live with that pain. And believe me, I don't know if it's, I mean, I do live with the pain, but I can't imagine the pain that his family's going through.
Oh, man.
And knowing him on a personal level. And, this is what addiction does. I broke their home. You know what I mean? I broke their home because of my addiction, and I don't wonder why. The reason why God did, spare me is because he wants me to help him do what he does and help me do his work. Absolutely. And, and just through things like A Bronx Tale and Sopranos, very iconic, films and television where people, the people love, because you were part of these things. People automatically love you and they feel a certain type of way about you and put you on, like, sometimes a certain level. And, and I don't feel that, anyone should be put on that level. But hey, if you're putting me on that level because you love The Bronx Tale so much, and you can use whatever it is, this dynamic of you putting me here because you love the film, if you can use that to help you recover and to say, like, well, I talked to the guy from The Bronx Tale and, he was so helpful. That, that's such a beautiful and special thing to be able to have the ability to do that. It's more special than any film I've ever done, or any, not to say I'm not thankful or minimizing how much I appreciate all of those opportunities and how much I'm part of that. But it's more about when you have that ability and you can see just the look in someone's eyes change when you say certain things to them, because they know you have been there.
Yeah.
You have been broken.
You can relate to them on a personal level, exactly.
Right. You have been broken and you fixed yourself.
Yeah.
And he's only trying to teach me how to fix myself because he did it. He's proven that he's done it. So let me listen. And plus, I love A Bronx Tale. It goes back to that.
Mm-hmm.
And for the reason you have that, and God knew that. God's saying, you know what? Because of that, this kid and everything else he's went through, this is the recipe for something beautiful where I can create and help him create something where he can help other people. So if the drugs themselves don't kill you, your own mind, because of what the drugs do to your mind, is going to kill you.
Holy shit.
Did you see that? That's powerful, huh?
See, you know what's fun? I mean, I did not know any of this stuff, man. I didn't know any of this shit.
Yeah, it's serious, man.
Oh my
I've
God.
lived this, man. And, like I said, I've lived it. And what I'm trying to do is help people not have to live it, so we can catch it before it gets to the psychosis or to where you're robbing and stealing from family, from friends, and doing burglaries and doing things that you never in a million years see yourself doing, but now you're doing. Like, I would walk by a house, say, like, as a normal person now, say, wow, that's such a beautiful house. Wow, look at that brickwork. My father did bricks. That's a pretty good brick job. I can see by the joints, But when you're on drugs, when I would walk by that same house, and this would be my mindset. Okay, when I was at my worst, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I was at my worst, I would be walking down and saying, wow, look at that house. Look at that window. I could get in there in 2 seconds. I don't even need tools for that. You know what I mean? Something like along those lines. But that's,
Wow. Well, man, Lillo, honestly, man, like, from what you're telling me.
But this is what it does. I'm ashamed that I turned into that person that did those things. And
but you shouldn't be, though, man, because you've.
No, but I'm talking about this kind of stuff in embarrassment, that I stooped so low because of my addiction that I turned into that, like it's a monster. That's a monster, And this is what you don't want to happen to you. And it's going to happen to you. Everyone thinks that it only happens to everyone else, but not them. It's going to happen to you. If you need the help, you come and get it right away. Right away.
That's why I got so drawn towards you, I'm not one of those guys to judge people and be like, oh, that guy did drugs. What does he know? This, that. Because at the end of the day, man, whether it's drugs, whether it's anything in life, anything that, let's say someone robbed the bank. Let's say someone went to jail for anything, right? People who do bad stuff, I never judge them because it's like everybody goes through bad stuff in life and they should never be prosecuted for that or it shouldn't be judged, you know? And that's something that when it really kind of intrigued me about yourself. It was because that's why I wanted you on this show so bad. I'm like, you know what? I want you to share your story. And dude, I'll be honest with you. Look, you said you're 44. I'm 21 years old. I connect with you on a very personal level, though. And that's what's really important. That's my goal for the show. You know what I mean? So I wanted to say thanks again for doing this with me again today, Lillo. Honestly, it was a real pleasure.
My pleasure, brother. Really, Adam. Thank you again, bro. You're a good man. I appreciate it. You got a great show, and I'd love to be on. Whenever you can, have me on again,
Lillo,
and we get to the next level.
Well, then,
because obviously, I don't know everything. I don't know everything about addiction and stuff. And I do work over at More Life Recovery, and I do a group every Wednesday. And I'm learning as I'm going. I do know a nice amount of stuff, and I'm proud to say that. But there's a lot that I don't know. So as I learn, we can could come back on the show, and I can share it with your viewers, and hopefully it can be helpful for them.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Lillo.
The main thing. That's the most important thing, brother. All right. I'm Lillo Brancato, and I am on the Up and Adam Show. And happy holidays to you all. God bless.
Thanks, Lillo, so much.
Or you can follow me on Instagram. It's LILLO_Brancato. BRANCATO. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. And make sure he's also on Cameo. If you guys want a personalized message, even for the holidays, for your family, you need some motivational stuff, hit up Lillo Brancato. I'll put it in the description down below. Thanks again for tuning in, guys.
Thank you in advance for that. Appreciate it. Thank you,
guys.
brother.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.